Does Kyle Juszczyk need to be sat in the naughty corner for his play, the fullback sneak, against the Cardinals? Ooh-wee. My answer to this is, it seems like this is an instance of Kyle throwing someone underneath the bus. It seems that when Kyle went ahead and described this play, he stated that it was an option and that Juice wasn't in fact supposed to carry it up the gut, and it should have been a toss left to Lance. Now, why does Kyle say that? Well, in my humble opinion, it is to deflect from the criticism he would face if people believed that he called the shot up the middle. Now, I will say that as they got to the line of scrimmage, it seemed clunky. It seemed as if there was a full beat delay before they were able to hike the ball. And that allowed the defense to respond to a play that they had already seen. This play had been set up by the fact that Kyle had run this very play before. It would have been set up perfectly had they gone with the other, the toss left to Lance, because the defense read it just as it ended up being executed. Juszczyk up the middle. It was stuffed. So yes, there are two possibilities. One, Juice could have screwed it up. Juice got to the line. There should have been a key out there that informed him that he should have switched to the toss to the left to Lance. However, the other possibility remains, even in the same scenario, that yes, perhaps Juice made the wrong call, but perhaps Kyle and Mike McDaniel failed to adequately prepare the offense for that scenario. And this gets back to the buck stops here mentality. Regardless of what occurred, with what I know about Juice, I'm blaming Kyle on this one, because Juice to me is a very prepared football player week in, week out. He tends to know his assignments. He tends to play very sound football. That is what I recognize him to be within this offense. And I will say that on the opposite side, when I'm looking at Kyle Shanahan in high pressure moments, what I know about him is to be very inconsistent in those high pressure moments. So what if we're looking at a scenario where Kyle Shanahan has created an atmosphere that's just not conducive to success in high pressure moments, right? Does his perfectionist attitude create an aura of heightened tension in these moments? Are players so caught up in trying to be perfect that they fail to execute some of the more basic tasks? The tightness starts at the top in my mind. The tightness comes from Coach Shanahan. And it is that tightness that is reflected on the field in the failures to execute. I believe you can see that tightness in the body language of Coach Shanahan. I think that on the sidelines, there's not the unbridled enthusiasm that you might want. There's not a carefree attitude. There's not necessarily even excitement in some of these games. And you could say, sure, Rob, but that's because the 49ers are 2-3. Like, Kyle better not be happy on the sidelines at this point. Sure. But each game has its ups and downs. Each game has a moment where the emotions lift. And if a coach can ride that emotion and help propel their players forward, that's positive momentum. If, on the other hand, what I'm reading into Kyle, he gets tenser and tenser as the game goes on, as the game gets closer in high pressure moments. He gets tighter and tighter in those scenarios. Is it any surprise that that rubs off on some of the key players within the 49ers team, specifically on the offense? I openly wonder those brain fart moments from Jimmy Garoppolo, where it seems as if the gears in his head just seize up because there's not enough oil up there lubricating the gears, and he throws a pick that to the rest of us, it's like, dude, the linebacker was right there, Jimmy. He was right there. He didn't disguise it. You just threw it right to him. Is that another scenario where you're looking at a head coach who's a perfectionist, who's very tight and calling things tightly, and that rolls downhill? A little bit of trickle-down economics, if you will, but trickle-down tension. We're talking about the trickle-down tension here. So again, I look at Kyle Shanahan for this one.